So let's look at this thing that's called a constructor. Now, in the previous example, we've been creating a person object, and the way that we've done that is to use this line. If you look at the top line here, you can see what we've basically done is we've created my person. My person is an object, and it's going to be an object which is of type person. Person is the class, capital P. My person is an object of that type. Now the way that we create that is to use the new keyword. So we go my person equals new person, and in brackets we just have an empty pair of brackets there, and you'll see why that's important in a minute. So we've created the person, and what we want to do next is we want to actually push some information into that person. And so, as we've seen previously, we use the set functions: set first name, set last name, set age. Now, as you can imagine, that's a little bit clunky. If there were 20 bits of data inside the person, we'd actually have to have those set lines repeated 20 times. So there is a slightly more elegant way of passing information into a person, into an object when you first create it, and that is to use what's known as a constructor function. Now the way that we use the constructor function is, and if you look at that top line, we're going to change the way that top line works. What we'll do is, instead of having empty brackets after the word person, we'll actually pass the data in that space. So instead of doing it that way, when we change the code for the class, which we will in a minute, what we basically do is we'll be able to do this. We'll be able to go new person, and then inside brackets we'll be able to pass in all those initial bits of data. Now that's much more elegant. We can have a single line rather than all those repeating lines. So how do we do that in PHP? Well, here's my person class, and you can see we've got the three attributes: first name, last name and age. But here's the new bit. In PHP, what you can do is you can have this special function called construct. And what you do is you put two underlined characters in front of it. So it's got this special name, underscore underscore construct. And then in brackets, you make up names for all the bits of data that you'll be passing possibly into the object when it's created. So here I've got new first name, new last name, new age. And what do we do with those bits of data? Well, we push them into the corresponding attributes of the class. So this first name takes on the value of new first name, this last name takes on the value of new last name, and this age takes on the value of new age. Now there's something special about underscore underscore construct, because when PHP is used to construct an object of a particular class, that construct function is automatically called. So every time we use that new keyword, if there is a construct function, that construct function will be called, and that will enable us to actually pass information into the person, and it looks something like this. So you can see there we're going to use our class person1.php, and inside that we're going to pass in the data into the person object. Then lower on down there you can see that we're actually using the get and the set functions. The get functions just to pull the data out and print it out. Now what's particularly elegant here is we can set default values if none are provided. So here's the original code. So if you look at the construct line, have a look at new first name, new last name and new age. And what we can do is we can slightly change that to say, if that bit of data is not provided, what will be the default value in those cases? And the way that we do that is we use this. So we simply go equals something. So it could be an empty string, like here for new first name and new last name. It could be a default value, a default name, a default series of words. New age is going to have a default value of 0. So if we don't pass in an age, it will automatically take on that value there. And what that enables us to do is something like this. Have a look at the definition of this new person, Marge. You can see we're only passing in two values, Marge and Simpson. In other words, the names are going to go inside the object, but we don't have a value for age. So because there is no third attribute on that new person line, that means that the object will be created with the default value of 0, as we said in the class constructor function.